Unless somebody's an agent and an operator, I'd stay away, because most of the time they're just going to parrot whatever mediocre management entity is telling them. And in my experience, 85% of the time it's wrong, and dramatically, and they just want to get a deal done. So that's probably the first thing that I offer that's just different, right? Is experience from not just, like real estate is its own endeavor. Being a short-term operator is something completely different.
Welcome to the STR Home Financing Podcast, where we believe a legacy is something you build, not just something you leave behind. And now, here's your host, Jeff Chisum.
Hey, this is Jeff Chisum with the STR Home Financing Podcast, and you are about to get some really great information about an area so many people have visited and probably don't know the true opportunity there is in this area because you haven't spoken to an expert. What we're about to visit with one, be introduced to one. Shane O'Connor, how's that for an introduction?
I'll take it. I don't back away from being an expert. I think at this point, being in the market for 2.5, 3 years, I'd better be.
Yeah, absolutely. You fit in line with kind of my requirements for a guest, which you really care about what you do and how you do it. The way that you treat your clients is on the same level that we treat our clients. And you have committed yourself to the space. So welcome to episode 41, where we will explore the Orlando market. And Shane O'Connor is here to give us some good information on that area. Shane, we're going to stick to our 10-minute format today, and we're going to start with 3 questions that we always start out with: who you are, what makes you a human, family, where you live, anything that you want to share there, what you've done, what's your background related to short-term rental, and what are you doing? What do you bring to the STR community?
Yeah, it sounds good. And Jeff, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity and the accolades up front. Again, I put a lot of effort into what I do. And so it's nice to get some props. And let's rock and roll. As far as who I am, Shane O'Connor, I was a Navy officer for about 10 years, graduated from the Naval Academy in 2009, finished that up, and I went to grad school at the University of Florida. I got my master's in real estate. And I worked in the multifamily development world for about 2.5 years. And during that time, I discovered short-term rentals. And to get to the punchline, it was very difficult to focus on anything else after that. I saw the power of it and was pretty focused on it thereafter. And I went off on my own here about 2.5, 3 years ago. I actually live in Tampa, Florida. So a majority of my business is in Kissimmee, Orlando market. Depending on time of day and traffic, it's anywhere from an hour to 2 hours away down the road. I also do some work in the Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater markets as well. I'm married to the baddest woman on the planet, and I have a 16-year-old stepdaughter who I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, but she's got to be the easiest 16-year-old girl ever. I don't know. She's just awesome and smart, and it's a joy to have it in my life. In terms of what I've done specifically in the STR market, I guess 2.5 years ago, I had nothing. And today we're co-hosting / owner operating 21 properties. And I think one of the things that make us unique, we are vertically integrated. My company, 99% of our clients come to me wanting to purchase a home, and we can do that from essentially cradle to grave. So I have my license, I'm an agent, but within my team, we have people who can do design, the build out, and then we run the operations and the hospitality portion of it. And then at the end, there's also marketing. And marketing, as the industry has become more and more competitive, it's not something that we had to do a ton of focus on. Now it's something that we've really had to, again, improve on in order to produce the returns that we need to.
Yeah, and that really jumps into the next question. 3 things a client can expect with working with you versus just a buyer's agent. And that's definitely a great taste of that, because I get those questions all the time. What if this happens? What if that happens? How do I get this done? And I don't want to answer that question for you, but as an owner myself, going down that route without a short-term rental expert realtor, you add that additional layer of property management. So you know what it takes to make those properties what they need to do and be to perform. So yeah, jump in there and you really can go a little bit deeper into what you were already sharing.
Yeah, and I can start that by saying the only reason I ended up going and getting my license in the first place is I got so sick of essentially dealing with agents who had no idea what they were talking about when it came to the short-term rental side of things. Again, as an agent, I'll be more than happy to hate on my own world, but especially in the Kissimmee market, I would tell you that with exceptions, I'm not going to say that there aren't just knowledgeable, strictly agent side folks out there. Unless somebody's an agent and an operator, I'd stay away, because most of the time they're just going to parrot whatever mediocre management entity with is telling them. And in my experience, 85% of the time it's wrong, and dramatically, and they just want to get a deal done. So that's probably the first thing that I offer that's just different, right? Is experience from not just, like real estate, it's its own endeavor. Being a short-term operator is something completely different. I wouldn't necessarily expect a real estate agent to be good at both. That's a pretty rare thing. And so I think that's one thing that I have that just very few people do. What that leads to, go ahead.
No, and I would say you need someone representing you that is more than just, hey, I found a great property.
Mhm.
Okay, what makes it great? And then crickets.
Right.
And I put together some buyer agent interview questions a couple of years ago, which anyone who wants to hop on my website, send me a note. I'll send those to you if you want to provide your email address. But basically, they were put together first to find out someone who will listen to us, not overtalk us, not lead down different rabbit trails, but will actually listen to what we're looking for and what our desires are, our expectations. Because if you don't have a good listener, there's going to be issues and problems down the road. But those questions are basically designed to vet out players from pretenders. So anybody interested in those, but you're exactly right, Shane. You've got to have somebody that knows not just a good listing, a good property, but how to operate that property, what that's going to look like on the other side.
And so market by market and even community by community, that can get incredibly nuanced, right? Let's talk about Kissimmee in particular. If there's a 5-bed, 4-bath townhouse, I might be really interested in it if it's 2 blocks from a clubhouse in a resort. If it's on the other side of the community, I don't want to touch it. So it may be a phenomenal property, but it's in the wrong place, then what are we doing? Whereas if it's a 10-bed, 10-bath house, and I can make that into a destination almost unto itself, then I don't care as much. And so you just mentioned, I found this great property, maybe, and that's the first landmine that I can help you not step on. Now there's 5 or 6 after that, but when you have that perspective of both, as you look through different sizes, types, locations, and again, like one community, it might matter more versus another where it might matter less. And so that gets very nuanced. And to your point about listening, and I'm probably going to short myself some business here, but simultaneously, another thing that's probably unique about me, just because I am both the agent and the operator, yes, I love commission, but if a deal's not going to work for what you want, I will tell you no. Like I've had to talk people out of more deals than into them lately because their expectations of what they wanted versus what I could produce, I don't want the heartburn. The only thing that keeps me up at night is not producing for my owners. That's it. Yeah. I love winning for them. And so listening to those questions, are you expecting a 15 to 20% ROI, or is 8 to 12 good for you? Or do you just want an awesome house that's going to break even? Those are 3 completely separate conversations, and it may work for any number of different folks, but that's really nuanced. And so again, that's something that like I will not bullshit you on the assessment of what you want, because again, if I'm on both ends of it, it doesn't stop at the transaction for me.
Yeah. And most investors want the truth. They want to know going into something what they can expect from a return and a performance standpoint. So yeah, that's awesome. And it takes knowing that information to be able to communicate it and then stand by it. Shane, let's jump into these last 3 questions and we'll make these quick. What are 3 things that make your market awesome for short-term rentals?
And let me start this by saying right now, I would actually not categorize Kissimmee as awesome. The economy's turned a little bit. The market's pretty saturated. I could underwrite 18% cash on cash with my eyes closed 2 years ago. That's just not the case today. What I will say is if you need to bury cash, like if you want to put $500,000 or more into a property and just protect it from inflation or whatever, we can do that. We can go get you a big house. You're going to get some decent cash flow and you're going to have that hedge against inflation. That's one thing. Two, what is pretty unique and fun about this market in particular, if there's a little bit of an emotional element, or maybe you want something that your family can use once or twice a year, the product that my team creates, it's pretty rad. We make some awesome stuff. And so it can be really fun. We're pretty contained when it comes to the design process. I can't have the owner involved in every step of the way. But if you want some ideas in your home, right, and then balanced with what we know will perform, you can have a lot of fun with that. And you can create something really unique that's just fun to show people and be excited about.
You've got that lifestyle. Yeah, you want that lifestyle asset because you go to Disney a few times a year, Universal Studios, or come on, golf course. What else is in that area?
And that's the third thing that I would say is really good is the variety of things to do, the reasons to go, and it has a fair amount of economic resiliency, right? In 2008, every other part of Disney lost money except the park. Right. And so between, again, like you said, Universal, golf, there's always conventions, there's always tournaments. You're not that far from beaches on either coast. You're not that far from the Kennedy Space Center. So there's a lot to do. And it's basically a year-round market. September's rough. May is rough. But when I say rough, most of the time we're still pretty darn close to break even. And so it's a very resilient market. And, when things are good, when times are good, there's a lot of upside.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize this is a business and there are going to be those cycles, those ebbs and flows. What we have is an appreciable asset, tax benefits. Yeah. There's just so many benefits from this investment class that I believe in, and I know you believe in it. You wouldn't be here. Hey, Shane, share 3 ways that people can get connected with you.
I would say email, and Jeff, I can give that to you, but Shane at Alchemy, ALCHEMYREINC.com. That's a lot. I'll make sure it's in the show notes.
We'll get those in the show notes. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's Vacation Alchemy is my company Instagram account. I can drop my personal in there as well. I'll leave those 3 out there. And if you're serious, I will give you my phone number shortly thereafter.
Yeah, that's
I'm already
perfect.
dodging phone calls a day. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Busy people, successful people have to do that. And, those are the kind of people you want to deal with. So people going to see those projects on Instagram, those pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will also actually a very legitimate our website as well, vacationalchemy.com.
Okay,
that's
cool.
Probably a better place to go look and you can see actual properties. And the thing I can offer in closing too is that if you're just looking for an operator that you can trust, my business is set up in a fashion that if we think the return is there, we'll go anywhere in the United States. I look for markets elsewhere all the time. So again, if you just want somebody you feel like you can lean on and trust, and you've got an idea somewhere else, I'm more than happy to take a look.
No, that's awesome. Appreciate it, Shane. You're a straight shooter. You know your stuff. You've committed to the space. Appreciate you joining us. And until next time.
Jeff Chisum is a registered mortgage loan officer with CMG Home Loans, NMLS ID 1820. CMG Home Loans is an equal housing lender. All programs, products, and terms discussed on this show are subject to change without notice.